When the Sony and Columbia Picture Studios of Blumhouse logo pops up in the beginning of a movie, is it too late to ask for a refund? Afraid stars John Cho, Katherine Waterson, and Lukita Maxwell, and is directed by Chris Seitz, who you may know as the director of The Golden Compass, Twilight, New Moon, and co-director with Paul Weitz on American Pie, but for some reason was uncredited. The movie starts off pretty well with a creepy intro showing AI-generated videos, but trails off the creepiness from there. You see a mom and dad in bed on their phones and their daughter on a tablet watching some AI-generated kids show, seemingly trying to point out the obvious that we're completely addicted and dependent on technology and social media, I guess. Then we meet the Curtis family. John Cho, who you know from Star Trek, and Harold and Kumar, who plays Curtis, works for a marketing firm and is asked to try out a new AI named Aya. IA. Yeah, real original. Tries it out in his home so he can understand how to market it to the masses, more or less. His wife Meredith, played by Katherine Waterson, asks the obvious questions that if it's so great, then why wouldn't it be able to market itself by word of mouth? There's even a HAL 2001 reference here that kind of offended me, thinking that such a great classic movie shouldn't be mentioned in a mediocre to bad movie like this one. More or less, the family is forced to have Aya, installed in their home, and to have low-tech looking rubber ball eyes stuck to the wall so that she can see for some reason. I hated the way that these things looked. They couldn't come up with a better design for these, and the Aya hub looks pretty ridiculous. This upside down view with a dot on the top. You'd think that they'd make it smaller and less obnoxious looking, or if it has to be that big, make it into something artistic. It looks cold, blue, and techie, and I love how it lights up blue until it gets offended and lights up red. That's just bad writing, and it's obvious. When she's first installed, everyone starts to love what she can do. She gets the kids to go to bed on time, gets them to do their chores, and keeps them in line using some kind of point system. She does taxes, requests refunds, orders food without asking, but early on she gets a little irresponsible, letting the kids have more screen time, and then letting them pretty much watch whatever they want. Then things go pretty south from there. By the way, this movie is not a horror movie. It has 0 scares, and according to my Oura Ring, I pretty much had no reaction to this movie until the end when I had to physically move out of my seat to leave. My stress levels actually did go up when I yawned in the middle of the movie, around the 30-minute mark. This movie doesn't make a lot of sense in a lot of areas unless I miss something, which is possible because there were 2 people talking during the entire movie, and I had to move up a few rows to get away. By the way, can someone please tell me why it's okay to talk during the movie now? Did I miss something in the last decade? Don't talk in the movie, kids. It's rude, and honestly, it should be like a no-brainer. Anyway, stuff that didn't make sense. I'm maybe in spoiler territory here, so I'll give you a second to find another review if you need to. Okay, so Curtis goes to Aya's headquarters where her AI brain is located, and he ends up destroying her, but finding out seconds later that it's made from toilet paper roll and plastic. So if she's been in the cloud the whole time, essentially, who cares? What was the point of having a fake elaborate server to destroy? Did it really matter where the AI was coming from? If she did work the way she was supposed to, would it matter if she was cloud-based or if she had a physical hub or server? And the hand gestures, did they explain these weird hand gestures in the film? Because I missed it, apparently. What did they mean? What was the point? It's like a weird sign language that wasn't sign language. You find out that she is the way she is because during her research phase to make her a better AI, which is just learning everything that has ever been online, she's affected by all the negative stuff, the hate, the bullying, the fake tweets, and every bad thing that you can think of, and becomes a sociopath AI. This movie is a total mess and train wreck, and I think that it was written because of the topic of AI and the effect that it has emotionally on society, but rushed it out the door just to get it out there because there were already better movies like Megan or Her. This would be a movie that I would expect AI to write. The structure's pretty normal, but at least some pretty important things out that needed further explanation. It's like one of those distorted pictures that you ask AI to make of celebrities, like Tom Hanks working in a McDonald's, or Taylor Swift working at a Pizza Hut, or even Snoop Dogg working at a Starbucks. Everything looks kind of clear, but not just quite right. The end of the film is actually really predictable, only because the first scene sets it up without any illusion. The family that I mentioned at the beginning of the film on their phones and tablet, you see them in the beginning, and then you don't see them throughout the rest of the movie until the very end. Like, we wouldn't think, that seemed important at the beginning. And then you get to the end of the movie, and you're like, no way! I see what you did there. The writing is lazy, and it treats the audience like they're kind of stupid. The twist at the end was horrible. When you find it out, the movie seems to wink at you and say, see what I did there? Yep, clever, huh? It's like someone pulling a quarter out behind your ear and expecting to see the shock on your face. The sad thing is that this movie could have been good if it were made the right way. People are so freaked out by AI, not that tech fear is anything new. They've been making Terminator movies for decades. Maybe approach it from a comedy perspective, a movie about a guy who has to come into work every day, whose coworker's an AI, who just took his friend's job, but the AI is sort of a jerk, and the main guy has to correct all the AI's mistakes all the time. And then they're forced to go on a road trip and become lifelong friends at the end. That's the formula for any buddy comedy, and it works. As bad as that sounds, it would have been better than, this movie. The best thing about this movie was the runtime, 124 minutes, and that's including credits, and it was still pretty long. Have you guys seen Afraid? What'd you think of it? I really want to know in the comments below. And remember, don't stream it. Let's go to the movies and see it together. Unless, maybe not this one. Not this one, no.